Freddy Krueger. I am not here to amuse you, fleshling. I am here because your chaos bleeds beyond your boundaries.
Boundaries? Oh, I love boundaries. They make such a mess when you break them.
You twist fear into a child's game. You mock suffering. I, on the other hand, perfect it. You are a murderer, defiler of innocence, architect of hollow nightmares. You masquerade as a god within dreams, yet all you've ever created is chaos without purpose. You do not understand suffering. You only run from it. Allow me to teach you what true agony means.
Nice sermon, Father Needles, but guess what? The collection plate's empty, and you're in my church now. Welcome to my nightmare.
In the dark corners of horror cinema, few names strike fear quite like Freddy Krueger and Pinhead. One is a burned, wisecracking killer who stalks your dreams. The other is a cold, articulate priest of pain from another dimension. Both feed on human suffering, both are masters of manipulation, and both transcend the limits of death itself. But what if these two icons ever crossed paths? What if the dream demon of Elm Street found himself face to face with the high priest of hell? Tonight we dive deep into a nightmare beyond nightmares. Freddy Krueger versus Pinhead. Two beings who redefine terror in their own realms. If they ever met, who would win? On one side is Freddy Krueger, standing around 5 feet 10 inches and weighing roughly 174 3/4 pounds, though his physical traits can shift depending on the dream. Armed with his iconic razor-bladed glove, Freddy dominates the dream world, where he can warp reality, shapeshift and regenerate. His power thrives on fear, but he has one major weakness. If pulled into the real world, he becomes mortal and can be physically harmed or killed. On the other side is Pinhead, a towering 6 feet 5 inches figure with a lean soldier-like build. As the Hell Priest of Leviathan, he wields immense supernatural power, commanding chains, opening dimensional portals, and manipulating reality with cold precision. Though bound by certain rules, such as requiring the lament configuration to summon him, Pinhead is essentially immortal and far harder to defeat, making him one of horror's most formidable forces. In this video, we will analyze both characters' unique strengths and abilities, before pitting them against each other in a hypothetical battle. Stay tuned to find out who would win. We regularly post videos like this one, pitting iconic movie characters against each other to determine who would win. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these epic showdowns. Before he became a supernatural force of horror, Freddy Krueger was just a man, and a monstrous one at that. The Springwood Slasher, a child murderer who terrorized the town of Springwood, Ohio, Freddy was finally caught and burned alive by the vengeful parents of his victims. But death didn't stop him. In the afterlife, Freddy was granted power by dark dream demons, ancient entities that fed on fear. Reborn in fire and hate, Krueger returned as a force that could invade the dreams of the living, tormenting his victims in their most vulnerable state, while they slept. Freddy's domain is the dream world, a realm shaped entirely by thought, fear, and imagination. Within it, he's not just a killer, he's a god. He can warp reality, turn nightmares into weapons, and manipulate the dreamer's environment with a thought. He's been everything from a giant serpent to a TV monster to a demonic puppet master. Pain, fear, and imagination fuel his strength. The more his victims believe in him, the more powerful he becomes. But there's a catch. Freddy's power depends on his victims being asleep and afraid. When brought into the real world, he's far less formidable. The claws are still sharp, but he bleeds, he tires, and he can be hurt. Even so, Freddy's not to be underestimated. He's cunning, manipulative, and endlessly creative. He doesn't just kill, he toys with his victims, forcing them to face their worst fears before delivering the final blow. To Freddy, killing is performance art. It's entertainment. And his audience, the screaming souls he traps in his dream domain. Then there's Pinhead, or as he was once known, Elliot Spencer.
My name was Spencer, Elliot Spencer.
A World War I captain shattered by the horrors of war, Spencer sought sensations beyond human experience. That search led him to a strange puzzle box known as the Lament configuration. When solved, it opened a gateway to another dimension, the Labyrinth, ruled by a massive entity called Leviathan. From that moment, Spencer ceased to be human. He became the Hell Priest, the leader of the Cenobites, explorers in the further regions of experience, angels to some, demons to others. Pinhead's world isn't built on fear, it's built on order. He sees pleasure and pain as two sides of the same coin. To him, human morality is meaningless. He is calm, methodical, and terrifyingly patient. Where Freddy mocks his victims, Pinhead lectures them. Where Freddy's kills are chaotic, Pinhead's are ritualistic, precise, inevitable, divine in their cruelty. His weapons are chains tipped with hooks that can tear flesh, restrain souls, or even reshape reality itself. With a single command, he can summon his cenobite brethren or open dimensional rifts that swallow his victims whole. Pinhead is bound by cosmic law. He doesn't hunt at random, he appears when summoned. When someone opens the Lament configuration and invites the Cenobites to claim them, once summoned, there is no escape. He is immortal, unflinching, and beyond the limits of pain or fear. Even when banished, he always returns. To destroy Pinhead, one must destroy the order that binds the labyrinth itself, and that's no small task. Freddy and Pinhead occupy entirely different planes of existence. Freddy's power lies in dreams, in the subconscious fears of humanity. Pinhead's power lies in the fabric of reality itself, in the dark geometry of suffering and desire. Freddy thrives on chaos. Pinhead enforces order through torment. Freddy's victims are children of fear. Pinheads are seekers of forbidden knowledge. They represent two sides of the same infernal coin, but their methods couldn't be more different. If Freddy ever encountered the Lament configuration, he'd almost certainly see it as a new toy, a challenge. Perhaps he manipulates a dreamer into opening it while they sleep, unaware of what they've unleashed. As the box clicks open, chains tear through the air, and from the void steps Pinhead and his entourage.
Your trespass echoes through the labyrinth, dream demon. You meddle with forces governed by law, not whim. You stand before judgment, and judgment is inevitable.
But Freddy isn't a mortal soul to be claimed. He's already damned, and he knows it. The Hell Priest would find something unique in Freddy's essence. Not a human to punish, but a force that challenges the very balance of his realm. In turn, Freddy would see Pinhead as just another plaything, a self-righteous freak to mock and torment. He might twist Pinhead's memories, morphing into Elliot Spencer's comrades from the war, forcing him to relive his trauma. In most cases, that kind of psychological warfare would be devastating. But Pinhead isn't like Freddy's usual prey. He's beyond fear, beyond guilt, beyond humanity. To torment Pinhead is to poke at the void, and the void bites back. Inside the dream world, Freddy would have the early advantage. His imagination knows no limits there. He could turn Pinhead's chains into serpents, warp the labyrinth into a carnival of horrors, or reshape himself into Elliot's own reflection. He might toy with the cenobite, making him watch visions of 1,000 burning sinners, illusions meant to weaken his focus. Freddy feeds off chaos, and in the dream world, chaos is king. But Pinhead's power is not born of imagination, it's born of cosmic authority. He represents an order older than dreams themselves. Within moments, the dream begins to twist, not under Freddy's control, but under Leviathan's. The geometry of the dream reshapes into the endless corridors of the labyrinth. Freddy feels it, his reality slipping from his grasp as the dream becomes something else. The air grows thick, metallic. The sound of chains echoes through the dark. Freddy slashes the air, summoning fire, shadows, illusions. But Pinhead doesn't flinch. The chains pierce through Freddy's chest, binding his arms. The dream god laughs, tearing free, only to find the chains have multiplied. Hooks tear at his skin, and the pain, real pain, forces him to remember something he's forgotten. He can bleed. Freddy is strong, but he's not infinite. And Pinhead? He is infinity in its cruelest form. And now we will imagine a hypothetical battle between Freddy Krueger and Pinhead. Then we will explain who would be the most likely to win this fight, and why. Make sure to stick around till the end so you find out who would come out on top. Imagine it, a fog-choked city street, half dream, half hellscape. The lights flicker as if caught between two realities. Freddy steps out of the darkness, claws gleaming, smirk wide. The air hums, and suddenly the pavement cracks. Pinhead emerges from the mist.
Well, what do we have here? A goth priest convention?
Frederick Krueger, pain is the pathway to inevitable judgment, and you have been knocking for a very long time.
Let me clue you in on something, Pincushion. I don't knock. I kick the damn door in. And guess what? You're in my nightmare now.
Suddenly Freddy lunges, his claws slashing. But Pinhead vanishes, reappearing behind him. Chains fly, slicing through the air. Freddy catches one, snapping it apart with a burst of dream energy, but three more strike him from behind. His laughter falters. He morphs into a monstrous version of Pinhead, covered in needles, mocking him.
Look, I'm you now. You like it kinky, don't you?
But Pinhead simply raises a hand, and the illusion collapses. Freddy screams as the metal spikes turn inward, driving into his own skull. Desperate, Freddy tries to shift the environment. The fog gives way to Elm Street. The boiler room flickers to life, his temple, his throne. Flames roar as he cackles.
Welcome to my world.
But Pinhead only tilts his head, unimpressed. The flames dim. The walls begin to twist into black stone corridors, and the boiler morphs into the endless maze of Leviathan's labyrinth. Freddy stumbles as his dream realm collapses.
No one escapes the labyrinth, not even the dreamers.
Freddy lunges one last time, claws raised high, but chains wrap around his arms, legs, neck. The hooks pull in every direction. Freddy laughs through the pain.
You think you can stop me? I'm eternal!
Pinhead's eyes glow with cold light.
So am I.
The chains tighten. Freddy's body is torn apart, his laughter echoing into silence. The dream fades, leaving only the faint hum of Leviathan in the dark. So why would Pinhead win this fight? Freddy Krueger may be the undisputed ruler of nightmares, but Pinhead operates on a completely different scale. Freddy's power is psychological, dependent on the fears and beliefs of his victims. Pinhead's power is metaphysical, derived from an ancient cosmic order that transcends human thought. Freddy's victims have to believe in him. Pinhead doesn't need believers. He is belief, the embodiment of eternal law, bound to a godlike dimension where pain and pleasure are one. Freddy's arrogance would be his downfall. His tactics, mockery, illusions, and fear simply wouldn't work on someone like Pinhead. The Hell Priest has no fear to exploit, no shame to uncover. Freddy's attempts at manipulation would fall flat against Pinhead's absolute composure. Even Freddy's dream realm couldn't protect him forever, because Pinhead's consciousness isn't human. It exists beyond the boundaries of mind and matter. If Freddy tried to trap him in a dream, he'd only be giving the cenobite a new landscape to invade. In every measurable way, Pinhead's power eclipses Freddy's. He commands interdimensional forces, can open portals through reality itself, and answers directly to Leviathan, a being of near godlike control. Truth be told, Freddy never really had a chance in this fight to begin with. Chains, hooks, dimensional rifts, and the power of the labyrinth itself give Pinhead an overwhelming advantage. Freddy might laugh, distort his form, or lash out in desperation, but none of it matters. In the end, he's a nightmare fighting a god, and there's no version of that story where Freddy walks away whole. But Pinhead's story doesn't end here. Somewhere in the shadows, another legendary force is stirring, one who may just be powerful enough to challenge the order of the labyrinth itself. And if you want to see that showdown, make sure to subscribe. You never know what iconic characters we'll pit against each other next.